right. Cool. Okay. Starting a little bit early just to make sure everything's actually working. Hello, hello. Am I coming through? Let's turn that off. Oh, I hear myself. Ah. Okay. There we go. Let me know how everything's coming in to you guys. Coming in with a little bit of a different setup, so. We'll see how this goes. Okay. You know, let me know if there's any like weird stream related stuff I can try and fix as I go along. Yeah, just to make sure. Sorry, it's just a slight smidgy, a little bit early. But I think, from what I can tell, I think we're good. Maybe. Am I coming in? I can see the mic is looking like it's checking in. Hello, hello guys. Welcome, welcome. There's a lot of stuff to talk about over the even just what happens over the last weekend, so might just keep talking throughout the whole regular stream instead of try to just bundle it all in toaster time. So but yeah, once we get in, hello, there we go. Let's see. Let me move my water. That's great. Gotta bump the mic a little bit. There we go. Alright, gotta decobweb my throat. Always feels like that. Music's about almost done. Well, that's a long music anyway. Do. Womp, 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 womp. Okay, here we go. Yes. As I guess I'll say hello everyone. Welcome. I really briefly talked about this on Discord like a couple days ago. So yes, I actually did get a job. So yeah. I haven't started yet, so it's definitely up in the air whether or not they'll be like, oh, we don't really like that or whatever. So but yeah, I have yeah, so I haven't had my first day yet, but I definitely had an interview, and then like a couple hours later, which I didn't expect, they like called me and said, hey, you got the job, would you like to come in on Wednesday? So yay. So yeah, I'm nervous sided about all this. This is a big step for me. I haven't done any. It's actually at a on-site full-time gig, so not really a gig. It's just like a regular full-time production thing with that. So it's for a local trophies and awards production site, so that they make personalized trophies for a whole bunch of local events and different sports teams, other little knickknacks like clocks, little fun stuff. I saw like a Left Shark trophy for, I don't know what kind of occasion you would need that for. So but yeah, the official title is engraving and production assistant. So I'm going to work with getting the designs that the clients send to me. I would look through it, see if I can vector it out, or see design-wise what's the best way to go about it, and then use the engraver, which is like a big punch-out kind of laser printer thing. So, but yeah. Let's see. Oh, awesome. Getting to get up to. Oh, great. We'll be job buddies. Because most of my jobs, I've been like working with, very, very small animation companies, or not animation companies, just like, Kim Possible a lot and Perspective and Midnight Mirrors. They're not exactly like, sweaty workshop, you know, kind of a it's a very different environment. So let's see how it goes. But I think I said yes to practically everything that the interviewer said. So it's like, you know, even like, do you want to work this week? And I said sure. And they were like, okay, we like that. That's good to hear. So but yeah, I'll keep if you have any more questions, I'll keep going on that. But I think for right now, I'm just gonna try and focus on trying to get this column to have that cool effect that I want, where like it'll be displayed a picture, and then if you look over, the picture will still be there, but you'll see it like twice basically. So just explain what I'm doing. It's near middle school. It's near middle school. That's interesting. Yeah, the interviewer was like, yeah, trying to math it out of like, okay, so you're like, you graduated like several years ago, and now what does that make you now? And it's like trying to figure out like how old I am based on all of that. And it's like, yeah, it took me a while to like, okay, I'm 20 something. He's like, yeah, just wait till you get older. It gets harder to figure it out. So let's see. I think I want to, because this one has the modifier of the wireframe. So to get the block in there, I think it's trying to put it on the edges here instead. So I think I have to like duplicate it and then remove the wireframe, and now I got a box. And then shrink this down just a bit, and so now we should have the column, which still has a wireframe, and I can get rid of the column picture. So now it displays on there, and I think I orientated it okay enough. You can see that it's a little pixely, so I might want to up-res it a little bit, but that kind of gets the gist of what I want. So we can kind of proofread this. Okay. I might have to fix this up a little bit to see what would work the best, because obviously you can't really see the actual part of this here. Might just like have animation for it to like go up and down so you can kind of see through it, and then once the camera moves, it'll kind of appear there. I think I'll do that. So some Z movement. Let's clear everything but Z. Let's make it a little quiet. Turn that up. Let's see. Hi, Sasha. Let's see. See you Thursday. Okay. Well, I was about to tell you about like on Thursday that because of my full-time schedule, it will conflict with the stream times. So yeah, I'll probably have to make a more official announcement, but yeah, probably on Thursday, because I have to like make sure that I, you know, get a work day on on Thursday, you know. So, but yes, it is. It's 8 to 4, I believe. I can check my calendar once more. Let's see. Hang on, I just gotta see what my schedule says here. Okay, so yeah, so 8 to 4, and I stream while I work. Yeah, so 4 is when I start in PST, so it's gonna be hard to be here at 4. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to yeah, get here exactly 4, you know. Won't take me too long till I get here, but it will be either significant. So I was thinking of like either pushing it back a half hour or an hour to make sure that I have enough time to actually set this up, because yeah, you can't imagine how many tabs and applications I have open right now. So it'll be a little tricky to get here too quick, and I don't know how exactly to know about that. So, but yeah, it's 99% sure that I will have to adjust. If I wanted to do these streams, then I will have to adjust the time here. Actually, I don't need that keyframe. That stays still. We need a keyframe from here to here. And this should be constant. Basically, I want to put the blocky part of this below the stage, so it's out of visibility. Probably could just put it behind the camera because that's always easy. And then set that to constant. Remove this keyframe, and so it should stay in this position. And you can watch it here, and it should just pop into the right position. But apparently, I forgot to apply those. So I'll have to go back. Go back a bit. Don't change the other positions, but just the Z position like that. So that should work now. And it should pop there. Okay, cool. I know, so this is like a weird bittersweet that's like this might be the last regularly scheduled stream, you know, where it's like, you know, at this specific time, you know, so but I think it's for the best, you know. Yeah, that these sacrifices do have to be made at some capacity. And yeah. I don't know where my future really is. I mean, we'll see how this plays out. I'm playing this by ear, you know, with the whole factory almost setting this up. So it's not too good. Maybe I want to have the box also be invisible at the same time, and only when she like hits it, maybe they could just appear at the same time then. And then it could just look like this, and then appear, and then it does the move, and then you're like, wow, that's weird. Okay. Yeah, eventually, but yeah. So I've been trying to figure like how to get around it. Of like, do I just move it a couple hours later, or change it to be weekends? But then if I do it on weekends, do that also might sacrifice into my paper Derpy movie work. So yeah, it's just gonna be one of those things. We're allowed to figure this out. I'm figuring this out as I go along as well, so that's why I'm not exactly knowing what I'm doing here. So sorry about that. Let's see. So let's do Z. But it also kind of means that you think the first part was like the worst any kind of capacity then, which I totally can respect. But yeah, it's a sorry, I just checked on my Discord. I'm so distracted recently. I'm sorry. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to box appear here. So let's go back to here and drop it down and Z up only. So they should both be around the same, actually around the same spot actually. Wow. Let's see. So they should both kind of pop in existence. Beep. Okay. 28. This magic number. Don't need that keyframe. Let's move this back. So now they both pop at the same time. How do we get the reveal? Okay, cool. Beep. And we could have some animation of it plopping in or something. Beep. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm like trying to split my ways, split my brain think too much at the same time. This is column box, and this is called I want to call it rim, but I think wireframe. It's probably closer to what I want. So there we go. Okay. I'm just not worried about the stream at all. It'll take a week or two to get used to being at work and work schedule. That way I have room to just crash because it will take getting used to working on site. I agree. Yeah, it's just hard because I'm doing this religiously and on schedule for the last 2 or 3 years. That's like, I know that this will have at least some impact to to not only YouTube wise, but also for you guys as well. So I just trying to accommodate for you guys as well. You know, to say like, yeah, I'm doing this, but maybe I can do what else? You know, trying to accommodate for everything. So yeah. Bwomf. But I think definitely I am taking a break from the movie this week. As you know, it premiered this week, hopefully. So I mean, I just do this for every chapter anyway, just to make sure that I recharge my batteries, not try to immediately dive into the next chapter immediately, and not try to feel like it's one continuous project, you know. To be able to take some time off does help a lot. So let's see. Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you guys. Thank you, Cookie. Hi, Shermie. Hello. Sorry. Hi, Ben. Everyone else, thank you. Sort your light out first. I know. I just want to, you know, this is what I know, is to perform and do all this kind of stuff. So, you know, it's kind of hard to switch gears into, I better make sure that my own self is okay. So what I want, maybe 2 frames of it going up a little bit. And then probably going back to normal. So now I got this, so I can select these. I can kind of do like a jimmy. They're kind of going up and then kind of settle back down, so it'll be like a... Hopefully, whoa, okay. Yeah, you guys can count. There's like one kind of hiding. Yeah. Beep boop ba doop. And there's no the little boxes and stuff here are not derpy, so don't worry about those. Boop boop doop boop doop. I think I want to slide this down a little bit. And then kind of lift these up. And then it kind of goes down. Okay, cool. Maybe we can scale as well. I think I have some keyframes for that already set up, so that's good. Maybe it's small. Yeah, to get an impact is that it has to be small and then large. And then a little bit smaller. And then kind of settle it back down. There you go. Pew. Pew. So that just kind of extra a little bit there. It kind of just pops into existence. Pew. Pew. I think I want this one to be even smaller so that this one is real big, and then it just kind of settles back. Pew. 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 And these all happen at the same time. Cool. Gonna bump up those numbers. Ugh. Trophy making factory be infested with cars out horses, even it's kind of cheating. Yeah. Yeah, they're just growing like mushrooms. Okay, cool. The only thing I'm still kind of is that you can't see the floor at the bottom here. So wonder if there is a camera angle I can use to actually see everything here. Doesn't that have to be higher? Does that have to be more this way? Maybe it needs to be more tilted. Maybe up and then tilted down. Trying to play with it. That kind of works. Maybe we can get a little bit closer, a little bit down. Not really zoom in. That's not what I want. Just want to move it physically closer. Go a little bit. See that down. I think it's a little bit rolled. Let's minimize that. Maybe there should be more distance between the cart. I think the cart's too close. That like it's kind of making that a little bit hard. That's kind of cute though, and it's like it's being possible to like change, you know, in a 2D environment of like how I'm doing this, you know. So you can see what it's very more flexible to do it this way. Make little changes like this. So let's see. Yeah, so in Engraver, I did look a little bit of it up just to get some general knowledge. And it is fairly close to what I usually do. And in college, I did learn graphic design and I made like more posters and designs like that. So I feel like I'm actually going to be using my having a real world application for what I've actually learned rather than strictly animation. Because I didn't really go to college for animation per se, which is weird to think about. But yeah, it was much more practical. There was like one that was a really memorable class that was about product design and at least that's what we talked about the most, was about like making designs. And I think one of the final projects was to make your own line of different products and make a website and make a stored kind of front page or something like that. So that was really fun. Very, very fun to have my own line of different shirts and stuff, you know. See what that would be like. Maybe I could play with this texture and see where that goes. Hi, cartoons. So yeah, this is gonna be a new adventure. I'm excited. Yeah, I could just cheat and just move this down a little bit and pretend like, ooh, it's kind of like that. Let's see. Oop, I'm blinking. Hi, Lindro. Hello. Let me know if I completely butchered that. I'll just kind of move this down a little bit. Would like a timeline? Let's move this up. Timeline. Just so I can move this down to make sure that when it gets to here, that this still looks passable. I think just because of that nature. I don't think there's a way to exactly adjust it later. Like I can't like say like, oh, I want it to be keyframed here and then animate it here. That might be possible, but it's definitely not gotta happen. Because I want it to still be like, we go to shading. Don't repeat, just extend. UV. So I should just extend that, just in case I can put this down further if I want. So it needs to be somewhat on the horizon, and then put that there. Yeah, I think the main issue is that the box is just too close. So let's see if we can fix that. Hi Deadpool, welcome. Let's see. Gonna make them work. Let's just go to love your animation close up. We can, yes, that took like, I work on them like as soon as I take a break, but just about in real time from each chapter. So if it took like 5 months, then I worked 5 months on that. On that one chapter. So Yeah. Very, very minimal breaks as well. During Toaster Time, I'll go through some assets and stuff and show you some behind the scenes of that. I think for right now, I just want to move. I think I want to just clear Y positions for these objects here. Well, what did you guys like about the movie, or like Chapter 6 specifically? I can talk about that. Then we say like the backgrounds and the 3D stuff look cool. I could show off something like that. I mean, yeah, let me know any kind of aspect or specific thing, like something I can show off. I can try to accommodate for that. Let's see if I change this. Does it? Okay, because it's not keyframed. It's a little hard to see, but there's like either like gonna be a diamond or a non-diamond over here, and that determines whether or not it's actually keyframed. So we grab both of these, move these into Y, and then see what happens. I'm moving it a little bit over here. I might be able to scale Y as well. Moving it so I can have a little bit more space. And it looks like a lot of other things got keyframe there, so let's just see. Beep, 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 beep. Looks like the scale Y got keyframed. Scale Y. Let's see which one of these looks good. So this one. So let's just move that over there and delete these keyframes. Move that over there. Scale Y, do the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. Move this back. So now it shouldn't scale Y. Because now it has no other keyframes for it to actually have a change. So, beep boop. Cool. Okay. Do 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 do. Oh, thanks. Cinematography. I did have some. Yes, I did have some attention to detail with the cinematography. 80% of it was storyboarded that way, so I just kind of like enhanced every shot if I could. Yeah, that works. Yeah, I just gotta fix the UV on that. Yeah, that's what I want. Not her blinking. That looks a little weird. There we go. Do 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 box UV. There was a significant amount of emphasis on the cinematography, so that was really fun. Framings and timings. Yeah, it had a lot more, because it was 3D, I was able to have a lot more freedom into setting things up the exact way that I wanted. Like sometimes I would, like I might think, I think I had like, yeah. Like if I did this, if I did the entire Chapter 6 in 2D, I would have been a lot more static or had a lot more, yeah, that's what I want. A lot more static or a lot more samey kind of angles or something like that, where everything would obviously feel more flat and just kind of feel more, yeah, it's hard to describe. Like once you go into 3D, it becomes like, I want this angle, and you can put the camera there, and you get it, you know? So a lot more decision makings can happen a lot more simply, or quickly. Like an iterate on different camera angles. I think the shot that took the longest was actually one of the first couple of shots chronologically. It was the one where the snakes and Derpy like first arrive on the island. Like they just land. So like that shot, it's like the third or so shot in the sequence. And that took like practically the entire the entire production to set that up, but glad that it's in a decent enough. scenario, so yeah, it's good. I know it's not evened out, but whatever. You won't see them anyway. It's the way the camera moves. You don't see the other edges. Yeah, just see the top of it. So that's good. Okay. But yeah, there's a lot more easier iterations and like trying to figure out like better camera angles. Cause I remember in chapter 1, I was like almost like defined and like cramped in or like claustrophobically, you know, forced into these different like backgrounds, and the types of angles that I could use was only ones that were in MLP to begin with, and like use those ones as a reference. And if they weren't in, you know, if I wanted a reference, you know, that didn't exist, then I wouldn't have that background, you know. So there's a lot of like decision making that was just based on whether or not I had a good reference to actually use at that point. Now it's like I can kind of use references and just kind of figure it out in 3D space, and it's like, okay, good. Now I can use that in any angle I want, and it'll work. So it's very much more freeing. And see your other thing, I just kept wanting to say the same thing 5 times in a row, so sorry about that. Stained glass window lighting in that scene was cool. Ah, stained glass window, yes. When she's outside, when Derpy's outside and then looking up, yeah, that was one of my favorites too. I think I was inspired by Ocarina of Time. I was looking around a lot of NoClip, to get like references for like how video games set up their levels. NoClip's a website that lets you kind of look around video game maps really easily. And I was looking through Ocarina of Time, and there's like the little grottos where there'd be like little challenges or enemies or like an item you get, and there's like a swirl of light coming from because you're in a grotto, so like you're underground, and there's a hole up to like the surface, so it's much brighter, and there's like this column spinning around of light, and I was like, that looks cool. I like put my camera like right up into it, and I was like, whoa. I was like actually like super mesmerized of like how cool it was, that effect to like actually just stand there and watch the swirlies of the light going around. I was like, that's cool. I was like, I want to do that. So I tried to figure out the best way to manage that in 3D space, and I was like, that's cool. So it's like 2 different cylinders. So one cylinder has a texture. What I want to do, I just want to add keyframes to everything, and then add a Bezier, and then say for here, constant. So it's 2 cylinders, and then there we go. So there's 2 cylinders of little textures that are like little streaks of yellow, and then those like that cylinder kind of rotates around on its like a rolling pin, on that kind of style, and then you have another layer to that rotates the opposite way, so it becomes this like inner weaving like balls of streaks of light kind of a thing. And so that was really fun to conceptualize and figure out like what's the best way to go about that, and get that to work properly. So yeah, that's definitely one of the best ones. Also, like one of the later shots, near the very end, there's extra post-processing effects. Let's see if I can find that easy. Maybe it's one of these. Oh, it's in here. Hopefully, yeah. Right? Where is it? Oh, I do have it on. Okay, it's bloom, like a flower blooms, and that adds like a little bit of more. You can see what it does. That it adds a little bit of glowiness. And so I added that bloom onto the shader texture for the what's it called? The stained glass window, to be able to get it to feel like it's glowy a little bit. I want to see, because it kind of goes, you. So maybe I just only need, what's it doing? It's trying to, watching the camera, and it kind of goes back from there to there. Okay, so it's probably like, probably just delete that. It may just make it a straight. Yeah. Of course, that is the Y position on that. So I'm gonna have to make this and just kind of continue to curve, I think, and just trying to make this flatter. So what was going on, what I felt was going wrong is that it kind of cuts off Derpy at the bottom here. So I have to have more distance between it, make it more like that. But vertically it goes down, but then it kind of goes back up. So I have to get this to be more of a flat. There you go. And to try to smooth that out just a little bit, might need to have a little bit more time. So I'm gonna bring it out horizontally. And of course that makes everything feel a little bit sluggish. It's gonna bring everything out then. It's almost like a realistic camera that it has to jimmy it. Like it gets pulled and then it has to like rotate a little bit separately. So that's fun. Actually, I answered that in my FAQ. So if you read the description, about halfway, 2/3 down, I do answer that. It's, I guess, yeah, it's like, who's my favorite pony, and then I say like Derpy and the other one. So there you go. I thought you were gonna say like, what's the best benefit for 2D? I completely reread your, unread your message here. Completely misread it. Sorry about that. I actually kind of want to talk about that, if that's all right. Like, what's the best benefit for using 2D over 3D? I would say, and I would say, just hopefully I can do this quickly, is that 2D has much more, is slightly better for getting personality, and one of the 12 principles of animation is appeal. So that's just how good it looks, aesthetically wise, you know. And I feel like a lot of 3D, and then my model isn't the best example because it is kind of a very stylized, you know. But as soon as you go into more photorealistic stuff, it's like it starts to lose that cartoony appeal. There's a book that I read about comic books, and it's about a guy who wrote a book about how to make comic books, so it was a little bit fun. And he was like, the more abstract a face is, the more we can relate to it, you know. If we have, you know, there's a scale from the uncanny valley, you know, where it's like, oh, it's not too much, but then it gets, whoa, that's uncanny, where it becomes like either you have one where it's the appeal is a face, and you get the most not looking like a real person's face kind of a thing, all the way to having to like make all of this, and it's like, oh geez, and it's like looks, you know, almost MLP style, where it's like it looks more anime or cartoony, where it's like whatever this is, all the way to then uncanny, where it's a real photo of a face. So I'm not gonna do that right now, but you can imagine that, where it's just like completely realistic, and it's just like way too much detail, and it's like looks like a real, you know, person almost. And it's like, oh geez, you know, it's got the real nose, and it's got the eyeball, and it's got like that, and it's like, I've got to go to work tomorrow, and it's like looks like a real person, you know. So it's like, oh, the dimples, and it's like, oh, the chin, and it's like, oh geez, and it's like just goes too far. So it's like, I feel like that's kind of scale for like 2D to 3D. It's like as soon as you bring it into like the third dimension, like it gets almost like this point where it's like it looks 3D, and it's like, ooh, I don't know if I like that, you know. And then like at the end it's like a photo realistic. So, you know, once you get to like here to here is your 2D section, and then 3D, and then whatever this is, and then a photo. So I feel like with 2D you get much more of this nice happy range where everyone can feel like, oh, this isn't based on reality. I can relate to this in a sense as like this is the most comfy, like this is the happy point, and this is the uncanny, I don't like this kind of feeling, like kind of feeling like So as you go up you become more uncomfortable. So 2D exists in this range, and then 3D exists in this range, and photo goes to that way. So the main benefit for 2D is that it becomes this happy middle ground of like, oh, it's representative of a real face, so you're not concerned with it being weird looking. But as soon as you go 3D, it's like, ugh. I've seen that stylized in a whole bunch of other mediums or styles, art styles, I should say, that becomes more you know, whatever else is going on. But it's like in general, most of these are get a look a little bit off, like Final Fantasy Advent Children, where it's like they have realistic textured skin, but they have anime proportions. So it's like, ugh. It's like you put real skin on a anime person, and it's like that's weirdly proportioned as well, and it's like, oh. So I think the main biggest benefit that I can think of for having a 2D art style is that you can get away with it being less realistic, obviously, with the, you know, the nature of itself, I guess. So there's that. Anyway, let's go back to 3D that kind of looks 2D. There is one shot in the chapter 6 where there's a diamond, and then I know people haven't seen it yet, so I won't spoil who it is, but you guys are seeing it will know, where the character's holding the diamond and kind of like feeling it and touching it and like kind of rotating it in their hands, and it's like that shot. All of the arm pieces were actually 2D planes animated in 3D, and then diamond itself was also a 3D model, and then it had an outline effect on it, which I think was one of these 3D effects, like freestyle, and I think that adds a, I don't know if that actually does it. I think you have to render it first. See if this works. I think it's trying to load it in, maybe. Yeah, you can see like it's still loading at the bottom here. We're still trying. Freestyle view map creation, maybe. So also that this might not work. But if it add like an outline around the creases, I was probably trying to figure out the blocks here. Maybe I should cancel this, or it might be stuck down here. Okay, we're good. Freestyle. Anyway, it had like a black outline to the curves and outlines, silhouettes for the diamond. So that was really cool. Because once I figured out that, I was able to really take advantage of that aspect of it. So that was really fun. Yep. I know we have a lot of other stuff to do with this, but What should we do now? I think I recently added a couple shape keys. Where would they be? Shape keys for the eyelashes. So I could like move these down and I can hide them, which means that they go inside of her head. So if I don't want them to be there, I can hide them. So I'm gonna animate that just real quickly. For when she blinks, I can have the eyelashes kind of move in the right place. So it should be fun. Let's see, so that's that one. Probably do this at the same time to hopefully save that time. And then whenever, excuse me, her eyelids close, then her eyelashes should move. I think that's about there. So here, blink, and so that just kind of makes a match move kind of style where now her eyelashes move. I should probably also make sure that these are constant, which is not always on by default, which gets a little annoying. If I don't set that to constant, then it's trying to interpolate like a tween, or it's trying to go in between pose A to point B smoothly. But the animation that I like to do is more like the Lego movie style, where it's everything's on flats, I guess, where it doesn't really interpolate per se. So let's see. Trying to watch where her eyes open. Okay, so this is gonna be tricky because I don't have key shapes for when her eyes are like in these positions, like kind of half open. Kind of did this pretty dirty, so I might just have to play with this. Kind of put it in the right place here, and then afterward move the actual object itself. Because what I'm doing is just kind of blending it between these shapes that I have pre-programmed in a way. And so I might want to play with that later as well. So yeah, for here as well, I don't have that, but I have this. So it's like a full blank to get it into the right position. And instead of, the benefit of doing it this way is that I get these poses automatically. So I set it up to be this pose, so I can just interpolate into that pose without having to find this pose every single time, you know. It'd be like if I had to like animate every single time she had to like move her hand open and try to make a fist, like if there was like a punching animation I needed to make and she had to do it like 100 times, where like she opens and closes her fist and like have to move like every single time her bone would have to move, like her finger bones would have to move, then it would be a lot more work to animate every single bone in her hand every single time. I know that she doesn't have hands, but whatever. And just kind of put it back. So might have to definitely have to work on this a little bit more, but that's the gist of it there. I think she doesn't blink anymore. Okay. Let's see. Just trying to play the animation so I can say hello to you. Let's see. Hi, dears here. Hello, Dicey. Welcome. Yeah. Okay. It's not much, but it's work there. Okay, cool. It's not gonna work with the position. This might have to work with the position and rotation for her eyelashes. This one and eyelashes. This one. Because I already did half of the work with the blinks already, so that should make this a little bit easier. I should probably, every single time that I do want to move it, I could just copy and paste this, I think. I can paste that there. And now that should keep that still. She stuffs it on. That's gonna be fun. Okay. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. mostly looking for when her eye opens. So, how is it? Trailer of new Hasbro game? The one that DJ Dead said that he worked on. Looks like a regular. He said it was a regular kids game. Looks like there's some different varieties of activities. Yeah, I'll think about getting it up. Getting it. Not sure, you know, if I'm gonna. It's possible I might do a stream of it. Who knows? Maybe if I get everything set up, or else I'll have to do it the same way that I did the, or when Yoshi Bluewater. Remember when Yoshi Bluewater did the Yoshi's Island April Fool's game? We were like, Yoshi Bluewater just had like a the most ghetto style of like using blankets and trying to make a darker environment and turn every light off. Yeah. I don't exactly have a capture card, so that's the most limiting aspect of all this. So if I wanted to anyway, probably just play it on myself then. So I don't think it's gonna be that much fun trying to make it set that all up anyway. I'm not exactly a game streamer yet. Anyway, trying to say is that yeah, that's not gonna happen. Looks like the rotating point is over there. Medium point, hopefully. Why is the rotating point way over there? That's not gonna make this easy. Yeah, Bluewater just kind of shows up whenever he wants to. It's like you're like an uncle who's like, ah, I gotta show you this wacky thing. So he's got always come up with weird things going on, yeah. What did they do for consoles but not phones? Turns to seem similar. I like it. Updated grind for phones. That is interesting, but I think it might just be. I don't know. That is a good question. Because if you think, because you have to think about the demographic of the kids who are going to get this, who will be preschool-ish, and so having to play phone games may be a little bit off for moms to be like, oh, play this phone game, which is weird because they can say like, oh, the house building simulator one for G4 was on phones, so I don't know. Maybe they just like looked at the stats and like we're like, let's make a, focus in on the console market for some reason. Yeah, it'll be whatever they're, the game developers are also probably accustomed to as well, because like probably making having dev kits is probably pretty expensive. That's a legit thing of like making sure that you have to like buy a weird license. I can't move this correctly. Trying to get a license for each individual console to be able to actually sell a product on it. Costs a lot of money. So it's possible that the developers only had console games, in a repertoire of dev kits. And so it's like, well, let's just use what they actually have rather than trying to make it, trying to get the phone version of it, I guess. Yeah. Did that'll be a different company. Hasbro let one group handle every G4, but now G5 is something different. Yeah. Let me see what the M3 is like. OPD. It's Illustrator. Okay. Very complex. Yes. That just adds a lot more to having the eyelashes move. I don't know why. It just feels way better. How would it be like telling someone like, hey, you gotta make this game for Scribble, and it's like, wait a minute, I never used that game software or that development kit. You know, it's like it has the Scribble language to code it in, and it's like, I never used that before. So either you have to use your resources to learn how to use that and set that all up, pay the licensing fee, and learn how to use that effectively, or use what you got and then go from there, you know. So it might just be like comes down to like weird simple stuff like that, where it's just like they don't want to pay for those fees or teach themselves how to use different software for publishing on different systems. Because like, isn't it like porting like its own industry, or like porting different games like the GTA 5 trilogy, where it's like they had to outsource it, and it's like it didn't turn out too well. And it's like, well, maybe because it's an art to actually do stuff like that. So they had to get that to actually work, you know? So it could just be a factor like that. It's just like weirdly simple stuff like that, where it's like, oh wait. Yeah. Can't make that work. Yeah, so it's possible like even get it wrong, like even if it's on a relatively more powerful, arguably way more powerful software or hardware, you know, PS2 to all this other stuff now, you know. It's like, oh, it should be able to run it, but to be able to do all the extra textures and anything else they were doing to that one, is like, yeah, they still have to do some manpower to work on that. So yeah, it's not just as simple plug and play and hope that it works. Like even the NSO N64 games, like they didn't work completely correct, like with the water effects and Ocarina of Time on NSO, like those weren't exactly working. So you know, so I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, Locomotive. Appreciate it. There we go. Okay, let me get some juice and not go to there. So I can see like the whole map of that. Okay, cool. It's will be available on PS4 and phones. I have them. Yeah, they gotta explain that as best as they could. Yeah. Who knows? They'll have their own reasons. I guess I was watching like DJ Jed's recorded video. Do you know if DJ's done his live stream yet for the G5 game? Because maybe you'll be able to ask those kind of questions. But because DJ only really worked on the rigging and animation, wasn't involved in the behind the scenes of setting those executive decisions of what platforms to put it on, I don't think that's a legitimate question to ask him either, you know? So it'll still be up to like even in his video he was saying like, oh, the marketing team had an older version and that's why some of this stuff doesn't look good, and like they use weird angles that showed off weird stuff, and it's like that's completely fair to them, you know, that showing a work in progress build is kind of the norm. It'd be possible to have the marketing team always have like the most up-to-date version, because they'll be slow in trying to get all these different deals back in handshakes with different publishers and selling, marketing, and all that. So yeah, they'll be. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, that's exactly. Yep, we're talking about the video game, and we're saying like, why are they putting it on consoles instead of phones? And it's like, they have their executive decision of why exactly. You know, it's not exactly anyone's fault that they're using that. You know. Let's get rid of some of these. I think we'll call it today. I just want to move this one down a little bit. I wonder why there's a keyframe on here, but oh well. So I want to make it sure that it looks good from this new angle that I got, so we can still see the box. Beep 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 beep. Ah, it's creating keyframes. Dang. Move that over. Move that over. Excuse me. We got the Town Builder Sim. Is that not good enough? I played that one a lot back in the day. But yeah, I definitely got bored of it pretty quickly. Put the box in a position that you can see it. How's that? Sure. Okay. Trying to clean this up a little bit. Okay. Now we're about on time, so I'll just go to full screen. And we'll just say that this is what we got so far. So there we go. Okay. Thank you, Dakota. Let's see. Where's my adventure? Yep. Like a proper console experience. Yeah, like a Banjo-Kazooie kind of style of ponies. That'd be fun. Yeah, why wasn't there like a... Was there anything for the 2017 movie? You would think that they would really market that out. You know, try to do as much as cross-motion stuff as possible with that. It was almost like a weird whisper kind of thing where it's like, yeah, here's a movie, but we're not really gonna make a big deal out of it. And it's like, like even when I went to the movie theater with my parents for the launch of it or whatever, premiere of the 2017 movie, and we did it pretty late at night, but it was like 10 p.m. like on the first day, and it's like we were the only ones in the theater. So I don't even know how popular it was, because like with my experience, there was no one else there. We had the whole theater to ourselves, so it was like, that's yeah. You think it'd be, you know, packed full the whole day, but nope. Yeah. Do. And software games, like the Ubisoft software games, not like the 64 ones, yeah, or the Game Boy software. Give it Xbox and Switch. I only have Nintendo consoles, so I don't know. I guess I have a PS3, but I was just to have a Blu-ray player. Yeah, so I don't have anything. I don't have a PS4 or 5. Yeah, or any Xboxes. Xbox I. Let me go to Toaster Time, and I can open any Chapter 6 3D file you would like. Spoilers for Chapter 6, obviously. If I show this. Let's see. Here's the list of files. What did we want? I think I want to show off this one and this one primarily. If there's anything else after that, I can open that as well quickly. Let's open 16. I played the full game since RDR2. Interesting. Beep. Good. So this one's a little bit interesting. Here's the castle. Spoilers from chapter 6. Doo-doo, 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 boop, 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 boop. Chapter 6 spoilers. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Here's the castle. I got rid of the terrain. I think I either deleted it or something happened. Is that it? No, that's the first one. I have different versions of it. Oh, I got rid of it because it got in the way of the camera. Beep. So the camera is way down here, and so it's looking up. The box is looking up, like this way. And so we got different different shapes. This is what it looks like in solid view. So I got this brick here, this plane here, and I got this tube. And then this tube has the shininess on it, which I think if I go to shading, that might work. Here's all the crazy node setups to get the just a light here to work, where it has texture coordinate that has some driver animation. Here's the picture itself. I just think it might be this one. So it's like using the stretched version of, yeah, exactly. So it's using these shapes here, and so they're like half alpha little blobs that then get stretched super long whatever ways. And then regular surface there, and then it has a mix shader that tells it to be transparent by a value set by your driver. And so if I set this, hopefully maybe it might work or not. Let's try it. Yeah, so this sets how visibility it is. And so if I animate it, kind of going in and out, that's what it animates there. And then this driver down here is the mapping. And so this one is the one that hopefully rotates it. Maybe it needs big numbers. And I think I use this over time, it like changes it. So it's a pretty cool effect. As you can see, let's hold that. The flags are also automatic. They have a flag simulator or a cloth simulator, and so they can blow on their own. That's pretty fun. Thank you. It's a cool castle. Thank you. I added some weird details like way after. I added the vines as a last minute thing and added this little moss pretty quickly after that. I think the characters themselves are in a different file location, so fortunately they're not showing up, but this is where the guards and the tic-tac-toe pictures would be. But yeah, just to get this set up was really fun. It's fun because it's like using the same geometry, you know. It's not like I had to cheat it super much, you know. It's not like I had to create an entire new castle or really cheat the camera to make this work. It's like, no, I can just really just put the camera really where it would be, you know, where Derpy would be in perspective, and just kind of put it down a little bit into the ground, and then just kind of look up through the shine-ins here, and just kind of works. Obviously, this took like a couple months to really set up, and but yeah, zoom out of everything. It's fun. Let me go to file managing. Open. Don't save. Let's open the. Let's see what this looks like. Unfortunately, yeah, the 2D character parts of this are just in the wrong place, but the rest of it is loading in, so that's good. So the entire chamber exists in this little block here, in this giant area that just keeps going with a giant skybox, nice little hexagon of mountains, and then terrain, and then way inside, and then go inside here, and a little tour of the destroyed section of the chamber here. This is where Derpy is. She shouldn't be here at this point. But yeah, just to show like the diamond itself is actually 3D. So let me see if that's a modifier. Yeah. Let's see. Does that flip it? Let's see if I flip this. Okay. Yeah, to get it to actually have an outline like this, I'm using a modifier called solidify. And so that creates a weird extra version of the shape. And so it's like having duplicate, but it's just offset, and it can kind of fill in the rest of the shape. So I use this to create the black outline. So I guess I then use freestyle in a sense. I use this solidify modifier instead. And so there, from any kind of angle, you can see like it has the silhouette of whatever angle it is. So when it animates, unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's not loading in. The magenta should be the characters, but it can actually get to the more behind the scenes of what actually is happening. Is that a whole bunch of different pieces work together to get it. And so you can like look at what the original looked like and work with that. Let's see. Going to remove that. When the six was moving, stick was wounded. That was nice too. Was that this shot? Hopefully. That's the only one I can think of. So yeah, the arms, which unfortunately I can't get it right now, are in two different sections that are parented to each other. So I animated the arms in 3D space. That's why there's all these keyframes here. And I parented the shoulder and section to the wrist part so that the wrist would move independently, but if I want to move the entire arm, then I can just use the shoulder. So it's actually really well rigged for what this is, you know, but at the same time to make sure that whenever I needed to just move the entire arm, I could just move it excuse me, but I would also move the arm in the same time and space. But yeah, use a little look around there. Yeah, at first I just counted out the characters, but I put like 10 times as much effort than what you see in the final thing. So I don't think you actually see the chandelier too much, but it actually has some animation as well where it kind of goes back and forth. Yeah. There's also these little pots I made that are like destroyed in this section. Here's a cute little pot. So I designed each of these as well. Just like had fun. I made the complete reformed version first, and then I had fun like destroying it. Just making a big mess out of everything. The drone's fun. Very high poly for what it is. That's the high polyness of it. It's just like, it's probably not even coming through with the YouTube stream, but yeah, it's a very highly dense. I made it very simple, and then I added a modifier that added more in between polygons. But yeah, this was fun to make it like that. There's little bits of 2D drawings on it, as well as just regular modeling it and adding little details wherever I needed it. Like the cushion design here is flat, but the whole thing is 3D. These little swirlies are fun. And it's not using lighting to really set this up. It's just, there's no real lights. It's more like a Fulbright. So I'm just using my lighting knowledge of like how things should be in where things should be in cast in shadow, and deciding where the light point is. So this is not a shadow down here per se. It's actually using different shades of the section here, and just kind of saying like these polygons here should be this shade, rather than using a lighting engine to determine what shade it should be, if that makes sense. I'm hard coding and baking the exact shades and stuff that I want into it, rather than letting the lighting engine determine what should or not be cast in shadow or light or not. So I'm creating highlights and shadows baked into the models themselves, rather than setting it to be specific. Yeah. Let's see. hopefully, yeah, Thursday. We'll see. It won't be the same time, so I'll definitely have to make the big post everywhere saying that with my new job. I'll probably say that a couple times as well, that my new job is a full-time job, and that'll end at 4, so I can't be here at 4 doing the stream. So yeah, unfortunately about that. Let's do one more. I want to show the final shot, so maybe like one before, maybe. I guess I can't see the characters anyway, so it's almost okay enough, right? Maybe I'll just show the entire environment instead. Let's do that. Okay. Yep. Let's see. Let this all load in. Hi, cool guy. Welcome, welcome. There we go. Let's do a zoom out. One of those big boundary break style zoom outs. We're just like, whoa, it's in a box. It's a skybox. It's literally a giant box where this guy lives. And here's Equestria. I don't know if that was too evident too much, but yeah, I made different Celestia Castle, a little bit of the town. I think this was Twilight's Castle. You only see it from like this far away, so it's fine. I think this was the City Hall. Some other parts here. And here's the city that Derby was just at. And some mountains. Yep. So the water has a procedural texture on it. So when it animates. You see it has the... I didn't hand animate it per se, but just like set up different parameters within Blender to say like, animate it like this sort of way. And then adding different little, I don't even know what to call it. It's like these little white rims that go around when water splashes up, or like rims around the object like this. There's always something around there. Added that to everything there. The beach. Fortunately, I did have to work on this this little raft. The wind didn't quite work out with this guy. It just kind of explodes. So I had to key animate it in the final version. And key animating means that I actually had to set up individual keyframes for it to actually work right. Same with the water here. The edges kind of goes in and out. Yeah, so don't worry about that. Here's the pier. I destroyed each of these little logs here. Surprised how dense and wide open area is. I know, I was trying to go for like a desert, but then it's like, I want to add stuff into it, but I guess that's kind of counterintuitive to have a densely whatever desert area. Here's the wishing well. There's water inside. You don't see it, but just in case you can see it from a different angle, there it is. Water in the bucket. You don't really see it. It was really fun to make these little tiny plants. Obviously, there are billions of duplicates of it, but each of them are individually. Each plant calls an animation from a source plant that's of their species, I guess. So like this plant is referencing an animation from the first duplicate, and so they're all using the same one. But if you have different ones at different rates, then different styles, and they all kind of hopefully look cohesive enough together. So I don't have to animate the grass or every grass for every shot. It's just like I have to animate the one grass duplicated a billion times, and then they all kind of work. Yeah. I've always had music. No. I think I started having music like a month or so ago. I realized that it was getting really quiet, and I was trying to like fill the air. So yeah, thank you. Here's a destroyed version. So there's a lot of A lot of trashy versions of everything. It was fun to like destroy everything. There's little planks that try to bring that up. The houses have an inside, not exactly. If I go inside the house, it should just be a block of yellow. There's nothing here. I think if I go inside of it, I might be able to click on the right block here. Yep. So there's a yellow block that's kind of transparent, and that has animation, and then inside the cabin, it's a nothing. Whoops. So, not much going on here, but just have to be effective on the outside, you know? So, there you go. Yeah, they live very conflicted lives, yeah. Then there's the mountain itself. Mountain here. This was, this took like 3 to 4 months to get to this point. Might have the original version that I showed earlier. Let's get back out. Yeah, here's the first version with this original shader as well, the same colors. This was the original how I designed the sand to look, which looks pretty cool. I just wasn't super happy with it, so I like completely redesigned it. It's a super high mesh, high poly mesh, so it's just wasn't able to be used in animation effectively either. It just has weird geometry, like, oh, those squiggles, like, that's not right. But it was good for blocking and try to, you know, say like I need to plan this out and say like, oh, I need this to be a little bit higher up. So I'd be like, well, okay, let me just kind of grab it up and be boop. Now I changed the shape of it. So it was more for testing and making sure that if it had enough detail, then I'd be able to do a little bit smaller changes to it and kind of sculpt it, and then use this as a base for what I wanted, and then go from there to then make an actually much nicer and lower poly. Look at that. You can see that squares a little bit better, and a lot more economic version of it, so it'll be much more faster to work with animation. The trail here is a pretty complex system of shading, where it has like a mask. I don't know if I'll be able to really show it off. Everything here. What is it using? Here's a Hill Dark mask. Is that this one? Hill Dark Path? Might be this one. Nope, it's that one. Ground Path. Ground Hill Path? That looks closer. So, there's the regular sand color. It's like this lighter blue, and that has some insane different math uses on it. And then I used a texture map that masks wherever it's black or invisible. That means that it's taken away from the original one, and then using this color ramp to say, hey, it should be a different color, using a soft light transition overlay color style. I don't exactly know how this works. I got it to work, and it's like, okay, cool. Then I just used a lot of my time to sketch out this path, so it kind of goes all the way around. You don't even see this part, but just in case, you know, it'll be there. So, and of course the castle way up here as well. Probably saw that. Little bits here. So many smaller details of everything. Everything needed a destroyed version and a complete version. Hope you guys saw this. So, trying to click a different button. So I have different destroyed versions. There's this chest that I don't think you really see it, but I made it, so in case I need it later, I guess I have it now. think this block was actually one of the last things to be finalized. Getting the texture shader of how it's has this pattern. You barely see it, but it has this dynamically generated colors to it. So it's not just a flat color. You can see like these different wavies and different imperfections. And then I drew on top this little green part, and then of course the gate is his own 2D section here, a little plane that has a nice repeating of that. Scrapped concept was this a crank that instead of having the snake like hit the castle wall to then make the gate fall, it was gonna be the gate person was going to rotate. Which way is it? Rotate the crank, and then that would be how the gate would go down. And I was like, that's overly complex, and I don't want to do another crank animation. I reused the crank from the elevator that was used in the boat chapter. Yeah. So this is the same object, I think. Might be using a slightly different texture. I don't know. I think it's the exact same. Yeah, it's the elevator crank. Warning zebra. I think that's the complete name of it, because I think I used... Yeah. So this is a full UV map, but it only uses where these colors are. So I was efficient and used one texture map for multiple different objects. Like here's the warning zebra. And then I think some parts of the elevator from chapter 5 were also in here. And then some other palette colors. Also can show what this look like. Flag, pin it. So there's a complete version where it's just the not destroyed version. And then I got the ruined version, so I just kind of erased bits of it and worked with that. Let's get to the gate. What is this? Castle gate run. Is that this one? I think there's a different... That's the castle gate. Okay, it's castle gate ruin. That's this one. Okay. So made it pretty wide, but that doesn't exactly matter as much as it being the correct, yeah, the aspect ratio doesn't matter as much as it being fitted correctly on the plane itself. Like if I use the same aspect ratio, it might look like this, you know, but you just kind of squish it down in 3D and then it's fine again. So, and it's kind of good to do that anyway, so that you get on the texture map more detail. So when it gets squished, you get a higher density of detail as well. But yeah, there's different styles of how it's broken. Like it's broken in different sections of each of these pieces. Yeah. I think I changed a lot of this. Oh, the roof was fun. The roof had a fun texture. Oh, that's literally everything. Whoop, that's a UV map. Okay, let's go to castle roof. Select simple or pattern simple. So it's just this. It's just this little like whoopa. But if you like tile it, where it's like horizontally tiled, so it'll like the next polygon starts here. You can imagine it just being like these whole bunch of little loops. And so yeah, there you go. So like they're connected to each other, and so it creates this pattern as it goes around. Yeah. That was fun. Alrighty. Saving things a while. Thank you, Cookie. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll have to find out what kind of schedule will work for me. But probably will. Should I? Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it. Or either I'll skip Thursday or I'll try to do it a little bit later in the day. I think that might just be more confusing if I do it later than if I just cancel it and then try to figure it out. So maybe I'll just, yeah, cancel it and then cancel Thursday, and then try to figure out where I want to do it. So until then, thank you, Cookie. We'll talk about that later. Then we'll have more time then. And have you guys not immediately trying to follow me and figure me out, you know? Let's see. It's about Toby Toes and make your mark. Exactly. I'm excited too. I'm excited for the 2D one. Weirdly. Like, I want to see like what that looks like, and more than the 3D shorts or whatever that'll be. So ironically, the 2D one has much more interesting art style to it, you know, art direction to it than if the 3D one's just gonna be like the Jimmy Neutron TV series, which is a little bit lower fidelity. So yeah, than the movie, which already it might be somewhere we can now estimate it between quality-wise of between the G5 movie itself and the Switch game. So it might be somewhere in there with 3D wise. People also caught this. There's a little secret way down here. It's it's not a rock. It's an outhouse. I forgot to put anything in it. That'd be fun. I could put a Shrek in it. That's my inspiration, to put a Shrek outhouse. But I think it's just empty. I don't know if you can. If I put a bottom, yeah, it's just a hole at the bottom. There you go. Okay, let's get the dramatic shot of the outhouse, and we'll call this a good. All right, cool. Good luck me a new job. Hopefully, yeah. I'm never excited, but hopefully I'll be able to do whatever they need and do everything that they want and do it efficiently. So, yeah. So alrighty then. Thank you guys. This is weird, but I think this might be me really signing off. I don't know, until for the time being, you know. Not happy music. It's not. That's close enough. Yeah. I don't know when we'll see each other again. I'll definitely let you guys know, but I think for now, I think the plan is that I'll take Thursday off, and then we'll see for next week. It's possible that I might want to go to a Saturday, Sunday, maybe. And for the project itself, right, the 3D Derpy, I don't know where that'll be either. Everything's like everything's up in the air, so it's like really hard to determine anything right now. So I think I'm just gonna focus as much as I can on the job, the new engraving. If you just come in a little bit later, I have an engraving job that I got a full-time job as an engraver for a trophies and awards production site. So it's completely different, but I'll probably hopefully be able to use my graphic design skills and help with that. So the guys there are really nice. Everyone's there nice. So I'm excited. It's not too far away. And some of the other ones I've looked at, so for other jobs. So, but yeah, I start tomorrow on my first day. So wish me luck on that. But yeah, I think for now, I think this might be. We're just gonna put the streams on hiatus until things settle down, and I'll be like, okay, I feel like I can do a stream starting at 5 or something, you know. Or maybe like, ooh, I get really tired and I need a dinner at that time, so maybe I just need an hour to sleep or something, take a power nap, and then be ready to do this. Or maybe I just need to work on other projects, like still need to finish 2 weeks of Midnight Mirrors, and for my project, take a little break from that. So I think I'm just gonna work to get my life settled before we go back into this. So thank you guys again. You guys have been really great. Thank you for always asking questions and everything. Yeah, thank you for time. Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it. I thought you guys would be like, oh no, we come back, we come on, can't you do another stream Thursday, come on. So Glad you're not like that. Let me go to in time. So yeah. I don't want to end, but I don't want to go. But yeah. Thank you. So till we see each other again, I'll keep posting different stuff, hopefully, on other stuff maybe. I don't know what that means. I just thought that would sound good. Hopefully I'll post updates when they come. So till then, thank you guys. All right. See you then. All right. Bye guys. Bye everyone. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. I can't hold my expression and close the stream, so sorry about that. I had to like click out of it. Anyway, thank you guys. Bye guy. Bye everyone.